How's it going, everybody? So now we're on day 3 of breaking down all the great, lovely things that we're going to see inside the Mastering the Game of Allyship book. Kickstarter launches March 1st. And today I wanted to expand on the idea of, effective allyship versus good allyship. Effectiveness comes from impact and leverage, and some of the things that people aren't incredibly excited about when it comes to being helpful. Most people want to be helpful. Like I mentioned, if allyship is applied friendship in a sort of natural, easeful way. They want to be able to just see something and do something. But a lot of the issues surrounding allyship are things that people don't have a lot of power around. They don't have a lot of interfaces. So the Mastering the Game of Allyship system, the game therein, is about finding effective interface systems to whatever problems you see that emerge from allyship. So for this, you're going to need your superpower. What's your Allyship superpower? Well, we go in incredible detail about that in the book, but it's really, in a sort of summed up way, something that you can do in 30 minutes that'll save someone 9 months of time. I say this because 30 minutes is a really good amount of time that you can offer to volunteer with people. Say if you want to volunteer 5 hours a month, you're going to be able to save 9 months times 10 hours. You're going to actually be able to track a lot of really good impact. And it's something for yourself that you can track, that you can grow, that you can test your own effectiveness over time. Now, while that metric is very specific, the thing that you're going to want to do, hopefully, is something that you really enjoy. Your superpower is something that brings you energy, even just trying and attempting to engage with. Most of the time, people's effective allyship is actually doing a lot of work that they don't want to do, they're not skilled at, it's not very appreciated, and really just doesn't end up having that type of impact because we have a lot of cultural programming around helping that involves suffering, martyrdom, sacrifice, all this stuff that really has no business being in an effective allyship practice. Now, the game of allyship, the idea of making it a game, means that there has to be a win condition. You have to actually be able to do something so that you can define if you're winning or not. This brings up a very big issue because in the standard understanding of what allyship is, there is no win condition. We're going to constantly always be helping people to achieve higher and higher successes in their life. So in this way, the larger game of allyship is much more like Tetris. There's no win condition of Tetris. You play Tetris until you lose, and in this case, that be you dying. And the game gets harder and harder, and it's fun because you get to meet yourself at the edge of challenge. So that's cool. But there's all sorts of different games that you can build inside that larger game that do actually have really specific win conditions. I just gave you one. Finding your Allyship superpower for everyone who doesn't have one right now is your first mission. When you get it, you win. You get a prize. Go out, buy some champagne, have a lovely meal. That's a good milestone that you can create, that you can actually look forward to. Finding new people to help is its own reward. You can just track what number of touches, how many people have I actually interacted with, how many of my relationships deepened for showing up as an effective ally. So a lot of the practice is finding ways to fail gracefully, and that's really just what games is. Like, you're not really supposed to be winning the whole time when you play a game. That's why we master the game and why we're not mastering allyship. So that's just something to think about in recap. Something you can do in 30 minutes that saves someone 9 months of time is your Allyship superpower. And getting into the habit of seeing, are there ways that you can reward yourself? Are there ways that you can see the act of, again, being an applied friendship with people, things that you can see that aren't necessarily just intuitive. This is going to be difficult for people because so much of our friendship is intuitive, but we have to actually apply consciousness to, like, what effects do I want to have with the people that I'm in a relationship with? What actual outcomes do I want to give specific people, not the concepts of a person? And so when you start looking at the world in those ways, your opportunity to be effective, again, not good, increases exponentially, and ultimately the game gets more fun. Bye.